Hey book babe, we are going on a trip, which means getting all the beach reads possible into my luggage and into your hands. I have 5 amazing reads for you, starting with Honey. This is a book that I have not yet read yet. I am taking it in audiobook format. I'm so excited. Shout out to Macmillan Audio for giving me the ALC. This book is already released, and if you are feeling a little bit 90s nostalgic, this story centers around a pop star. It centers around that culture. A lot of people have said it gives them some Britney Spears-esque sense, and obviously all the nostalgia in the world for all those bands and all of those iconic it girls of that era. In this one, we're gonna follow Amber Young, who is an aspiring artist, and basically she's navigating this crazy Hollywood world and really fighting her way to become an iconic pop star. It almost feels like we're going behind the scenes or reading almost this tragedy of a memoir. Again, I feel like it follows the same themes of Daisy Jones and the Six a little bit, where you're following the uprise and the downfalls and the addictions of celebrities and rising stars, and how the glitz and glamour may not be totally gold and wonderful. I'm really excited to read this one on the plane on my way to my cruise. I am so excited. I swore I would never do anything like this major cruise, but I heard Virgin Voyages. That's right, Virgin Voyages is an iconic, amazing luxe cruise. So I'm very excited to go, and you can follow along on Instagram for updates and more behind the scenes on that end. In the meantime, make sure you pick up Honey if you want more of that 1990s to 2000s vibes. I think we'll really enjoy it. Book number 2 I devoured in like 2 days. It is called The Act of Pretend. This is also a debut novel. I think I actually have a lot of debut novels in this list, so like, yes, we're here hyping up authors. The Art of Pretend is such a hot mess. If you're looking for a book that has great character development and people change and find lessons, you won't find that in this book at all. Sometimes you just want a book with messy characters, messy timelines, messy storylines, and I love it. I also want to hook you guys up with some summer bling. This ship is going to Mexico and the Bahamas, so I obviously still want to style on the beach, but I want to make sure all my pieces are affordable, sustainable, and that's why I'm so excited that for this video I'm partnering up with Ana Luisa again to give you even more pieces. I'm actually currently wearing a stack right now, which I freaking love. They actually have amazing bundles on their website right now for the summer, especially, where you can actually buy 2 for a great price. This is a collection I've been eyeing, so I'm really happy to have it. And for this order, you guys, I went a little bit different. I got a little bit more bling, something a little bit bigger for my trip. I don't know why I fell in love with this piece, but I did when I saw it on the website. I just thought it was so cool. This type of watch look that will add a little bit more bling, especially if you're going out at night, like those summer nights, and you just want to dress up your outfit a little bit more. I think this is a perfect piece. What's really cool about this piece too is that they actually come with extra attachments if you need something to make the bracelet longer. I'm actually super happy with this because I actually have really small wrists. Going off of that same vibe, I actually have this other bracelet that I thought was so cool. I believe this is the mini version of this. Again, I really like it because it actually fits on my wrist super well, super snug. I know I won't lose it on the beach or anything like that. And as always, Ana Luisa always kills it with their freaking packaging. It was amazing. This is what my necklaces actually came in, and this is where I found my bracelets. I always adore their packaging so much, especially if you're gifting a piece. It's just so nice. It's like a really sweet touch. I have the extension for the other bracelet right here, and if you want to order something and get a nice deal, there is a sale going on right now for the summer as well. You can use my link down in the description below. These last so well, and they're gonna last in the sea. I have swam with these before in Italy in the sea, where it was just super salty and my pieces were. Make sure you get your pieces for your vacation, for your summer, affordable, gorgeous, long-lasting. The link is down below. It has forbidden romance because Miss Wren, our main character, is falling into a situationship with her best friend's brother. I was able to chat with the author a lot about her book, and she was entirely happy that so many readers ended up liking Archer, our love interest. It turns out he was not meant to be likable at all, but I think she made him a little too redeemable, a little too too wise compared to Ren, and I think that's why a lot of us actually really enjoyed the ship, and we were sad to see it how it was crashing down throughout the whole storyline. This is just such an entertaining read, and because the book centers around class differences as well, since Etta, the best friend, is from a rich area, Ren is really struggling and she comes from a different part of New York. This book is definitely an outsider looking in. Etta just has all these privileges and is honestly a really crappy friend. And I think that's something I really liked about this book, is that it focuses on unhealthy friendships, not just relationships or those dynamics. And I would argue that Etta was actually worse in her situationship, because Etta was her best friend and you could see the abuse in this friendship. And it's gonna frustrate you as a reader. I think we're meant to be frustrated. We want Ren to wake up, to have some self-love, to stand up for herself, and it's just gonna keep frustrating you until the end of the book. The author really pulls in some interesting themes, lying your way through life or trying to put on this mask that isn't there, especially in these elite areas where there is a lot of judgment and there is a lot of criticism. And then you see that in things like Bridgerton, where they're kind of tired of the judgment and all the little things and the little mannerisms they have to play to make it and fit in, and you're gonna find that in The Act of Pretend as well. I still think this book is very Gossip Girl, where none of the Gossip Girl characters are actually good, okay? None of them changed, none of them got better. The storyline just got messier and they reacted to it in different ways, but it was still very immature ways. So you're gonna find that in The Act of Pretend, which actually led me to reading Bunny later on. It deals with similar themes, except Bunny is definitely way more violent and grotesque and has a lot more going on than The Act of Pretend. But definitely read The Act of Pretend if you are in for an entertainment piece and you just want to binge and see this hot mess go down. Number 3, which actually features a thriller that was amazing and I also binged, If Something Happens to Me, is the book that I'm recommending. This is an amazing thriller. Alex Finley has been writing thrillers for quite a while now and he seems to nail it every single time. I was just binging my whole way through because there are actually multiple point of views in this story. It is this guy who saw his girlfriend get taken and then was knocked out, and fortunately not off. His girlfriend went missing. Everyone thought he did it, and even he was starting to question, did I really see that guy with no fingers take her away? Like, did something go wrong? That was the love of my life who I lost to this tragedy. Suddenly when he's in Italy, he sees this guy again and it's like, oh my gosh, is he coming to finish the job, or does he know something that I don't? And it turns out the love of his life, Allison, is alive, but there is way more at play. In the meantime, you jump over to this small town and this new cop that is in there discovering all these shady things that are going on in the town as well. And on the other side, we have a mafia mobster who is dealing with a lot, and of course is in all these delinquent shenanigans because he is a mafia boss after all. And when you're reading, you're like, how does this all even connect together? It doesn't make any sense. That's the journey, baby. That's the journey we're taking. So bingeable. It is freaking amazing. I enjoyed this book so much, and I'm definitely in a thriller era where I'm just enjoying them as either palette cleansers or back to back because they're just so entertaining fast if you find the right one. And let me just tell you, If Something Happens to Me is the right one. It does have a great audiobook too. I actually paired the ARC with the ALC and it was actually really fun. I think you have at least 2 narrators. I don't remember. I just remember having a great time. At number 4 is the book I am so excited to read as well, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts if you pick it up and read along with me. It is called The Wedding People. I actually wanted to read this book earlier because Macmillan did offer the ALC, but they recently delivered it and I can't wait to dive into it because it sounds just so fun. This girl is at a beach, of course. She is trying to escape from all this awfulness that happened with her ex-husband, and she gets mistaken for one of the wedding people that are at this wedding, for one of the guests. And her presence ends up causing so much chaos because the bride and her end up confiding in each other all these like secrets and things that they have in their hearts that they're carrying with each other. And Phoebe, which is our main character, really adds an element that's unexpected to this wedding, and I guess a lot of events end up happening due to her presence and due to her being mistaken for a guest. The reviews have said that is so funny but also very tender, and I'm just so curious about reading a book that pairs these two things together but is considered women's fiction, more adult fiction. I'm definitely in a fiction and lit fic mood, so I'm really excited to read this one. I will be pairing the physical book with with the audiobook, and let's see how that goes. All the reviews are quite raving. Like, I've recently checked out some of the reviews and they just keep going up and up. So I'm very curious, even though my expectations are still neutral, still down to the ground, but I am looking forward to reading this one, especially because it takes place at the coast. Just hoping I can read this like while lounging on the beach at the coast. It just sounds like something that would be like surprisingly cozy but very summer-esque. And last but not least, I have mentioned this book a few times, but I swear this book belongs in the summer, and it is called The Last Days of the Midnight Ramblers. This is from an author that I met at the Tucson Festival of Books. I adore her. I've talked about the audiobook as well because the narrator from Yellowface narrates this book as well, but I'm actually going to take up my physical copy again. This is just something I want to read while I'm on the ship, just cruising along. I swear, even the cover feels so summer-esque, and even though it was released in like February, March, I think it belongs in the summer list. This one focuses on a ghostwriter who's writing all the ups and downs on this rock band, on the Midnight Ramblers, and I think I love it so much because I did start this book and like pause it to do ALC. It was a whole thing because you have really strong female characters in this who are doing everything they possibly can to forward their career, do everything they possibly can to follow their passion. And if you've ever heard the author talk, you know that this is her as well. She is a badass lady. She is a woman that is definitely adventurous, mysterious, and super, super cool. And you see a lot of those traits in her character, who is also a ghostwriter. And I just think that is so interesting that this writer, this author, is a ghostwriter writing about a ghostwriter. So you know that point of view is going to be way more accurate, intimate, a little bit more behind the scenes, because I don't know about you, I don't know that much about ghostwriting. If it weren't for Sarah, if it weren't for this book, where you really get more insider information on how that even functions, how the ghostwriter feels, like, are you really okay not getting credit? How do you even get close to your client? How do you tell their story and tell it in their voice? I think this book has a lot of different elements to it. It continues that Daisy Jones-esque vibe. You are following this iconic rock band. You are following this world that is way more stabilized than Daisy Jones and the Six, because they're not just starting off, but you also have this ghostwriter, like you had the other interviewer, kind of dive in a little bit deeper, but it is way more personal because you are following the ghostwriter, whereas Daisy Jones and the Six, the interview is very much behind the scenes, an interviewer, and the whole book is told in an interview format. It's so cool, and your girl may be doing a little giveaway over on Instagram as well that comes with a little bit of goodies that the author herself has provided to add in there, including this really cool backstage pass. Have I convinced you to pick up any of these books or potentially buddy read one of them with me? Let me know. And if you enjoyed all these shenanigans and you're not yet subscribed, hit that sub button. We're really reading across the board and trying out different things. Once again, I need to go pack. This has been a crazy time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.